So far in the course, we've discovered that our personal thinking is critical to the way we experience the world around us. So here, in the final video of Zone 1, we're going to set out some concepts to assist you in strengthening your relationship with your world so that it becomes a place that consistently supports you in your success. I call this setting your stage. I'm going to be asking you to raise your awareness to the unconscious programming that drives your behaviour. Then I'll be encouraging you to get really curious about your beliefs before finally giving you a strategy that will help you to see your world from the most inspiring perspective. Setting up your world as the stage on which your best life can play out requires us to investigate the basic foundations of what it is that makes your world unique to you. And those foundations come in the form of your beliefs. Your beliefs are the powerful unconscious programs that drive absolutely everything you say, do, and feel. Fundamentally, they're a product of the conditioned self, because nobody's born with their belief system already set up inside them. Remember, we're born as pure, innocent, flawless diamonds, our essential selves. Our beliefs have to be learned, and the majority of them are passed on to us very early on in life by those around us. By now, your conditioned self will have developed beliefs about everything. About what's right and wrong. It will have a view on religion, politics, what's just or unjust. It will have beliefs about money, what it takes to be happy, what's required for you to feel successful. It will have an opinion on your level of ability and your potential. It will have developed a self-image that causes you to feel a certain way about yourself, and it will have made judgments about others that cause you to feel a certain way about them. And ultimately, it will have decided what it's like to live in a world such as this. And that's important in determining your ability to live your best life. Now, the fascinating thing about beliefs is that they feel so familiar to us that we hardly recognise them as being beliefs. When we're oblivious to the world we create, we respond to our beliefs as if they're undeniable facts. With an outside-in perspective, we feel so certain that our view of the world is correct that it doesn't occur to us to question it. It's only by waking up to your world and getting curious that you can see with clarity how some of your beliefs support you in living the kind of life that you want to live, and some of them hold you back. We could say that your beliefs are just thoughts that you've put a lot of practice into thinking. But when you get fascinated by the nature of thought, you become more in tune to your true nature that knows nothing has any meaning until you apply a meaning to it, and you become more inclined to ask yourself useful questions such as, does the way I'm looking at this help me to live happily, peacefully and successfully, or does it cause me to feel stuck, frustrated or afraid? If the answer's the latter, then that's a clear signal from your innate wisdom that there are some changes that need to be made, starting with a change to your perspective. So a simple question that I'd like to ask you is, does the way you look at the world help you or hinder you in living your most wonderful life? Now, I realise that that's a very big question that you may need to think about. So to help bring some clarity, I invite you to try out this little exercise. If you were to complete these sentences in a way that truthfully reflects your general experience, what word or words would you use? Life is ... and the world is ... Please take a moment to do this. Don't try to think of what a good answer would be or what you think you should say. Just be as honest as you can. Pause the video for a moment and just see what instinctively comes up for you. Okay, I've asked scores of people to complete this exercise, and it is truly amazing the diversity of answers that come back. But whatever the answer, it's always a clear indicator as to what kind of lens that person looks through to interpret his or her experience of life. And the good news is, if need be, those lenses can be changed, just like putting on a new pair of glasses. So let's say, for example, a person completes the life is sentence with the word hard. Life is hard. then it's probable that they filter their experience of life to predominantly see the obstacles that prevent them from getting what they want. They'll focus on the reasons why it's difficult to get by, and they're likely to be tuned in to a sense of suffering. Now, that's not to say that they don't have challenges in their life, but it's interesting that another person faced with exactly the same challenges could have an entirely different perspective because they look through a different lens. So let's say instead of hard, the person said life is an adventure. Through this lens, they're more likely to consider the unpredictability of life to be a cause for excitement. What most people see as problems, they'll see as opportunities. And they'll have a habit of looking at the world with a sense of childlike wonder. If somebody thinks that the world is a dangerous place, then conflict is likely to be a common theme for them. They'll always be on guard and fearful of things that are outside of their control. For them, life will be all about defending and protecting, which could make it hard for others to get close to them. But if, on the other hand, they thought that the world is amazing, then they'll consistently find themselves being guided by inspiration. They'll be fascinated by the endless possibilities that lay before them, and they'll feel that their life is filled with an abundance of everything that they need. Whatever you happen to think about the world and about life, it's healthy to remember that you're the one doing the perceiving, and that at all times you're free to perceive it in any way you wish. The key principle is that the world will present itself to you in whichever manner you ask it to, because the world you perceive outside of you is a direct reflection of the world that exists within you. So in order to set your stage for success, the obvious question would be, now what kind of world do you want to live in? Now, bearing in mind that a key measure of life satisfaction is your ability to be the fullest, most positive expression of your true self, what ways of looking at the world would be most encouraging to you? And when you get a sense of that, a very useful thing to do is to go looking for the evidence that supports that view. So here's a strategy that you can use to help with this. Write down the supporting belief that you want to embrace and then follow it up with the words, "and I know that's true because." Then take some time to think of as many reasons as you can for why that supporting view is true for you. The big idea here is that you always get more of what you focus on, so the more you look for evidence, the more of it you're likely to see. And here's an example to help you get the gist. Let's say that the belief you'd like to strengthen is, the world is here to support me in everything I do. You might follow that up with, and I know that's true because it has all the resources to keep me alive. It gives me the freedom to choose my own way. It provides me with plenty to be inspired by. When I ask for help in the right places, I tend to get it. And no matter what I do, it never judges me. And you can just keep going, finding all the evidence that feels right for you. I really encourage you to ask the world to present itself to you in a way that inspires you the most. So your exercise for this session is to spend some time building, developing and strengthening a positive relationship with your world by completing the Setting My Stage worksheet that you can download below this video. Coming up, in the next instalment of the course, we're going to be visiting Zone 2, Your Purpose, and discovering what it is that gives life its real meaning, starting off with where we should be looking for authentic happiness. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to guide you through that part of the journey. But until then, please take great care of yourself. Goodbye for now.